Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is a little bit different. I wanted to go ahead and do a get ready with me video related with sewing. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how I got ready. Today we are actually going to take the kids to the movies and probably gonna go get something to eat at the mall, so it'll just be nice. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I like to put on is this Master Blur Stick by Maybelline. I put it basically everywhere on my face, but while I do my makeup, I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys as well. Yeah. And now I go in with an oil mattifier by Mary Kay. And I put it on my T-zone because I am actually very oily. Sorry if you hear my kids yelling. They're getting ready as well. So I wanted to do this video today because I think I really enjoy watching everyone sew, but sometimes we get lost in sewing rapidly and not usually wearing what we make. And when I first started sewing, like really sewing, and when I bought my sewing machine and stuff, all the videos just made it look so easy and simple, and it can be very easy and simple, and you can sew something very quickly, but are you going to wear it again? To do the base on my eyelids, I'm going to go ahead and use the Maybelline New York 25 medium. And but yeah, the thing, so if you've ever watched that documentary, The True Cost, over on Netflix, and this is not to shame anybody, the reason why I sew is because I want to make my own clothing to actually fit me. You know what I mean? I want to make my own clothing that actually fits and that I can wear and it can last me several years, if not, at least several outings, and then, recycle it and make it more. Because if you've ever seen that documentary, The True Cost, over on Netflix, I just, that documentary just made me cry, because I was one of those people that, would just constantly go to the store, buy all this clothing, and just, $30, 5 outfits kind of thing on these like Beals and bras, and just really inexpensive clothing that just wasn't made very well, and that was made in another country. And I would just buy all this stuff, you know what I mean? But when I have children and they bit the top of my dang beauty blender. But when I watched that documentary, I'm using the Kat Von D setting powder. I watched that documentary and it made me cry. I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And you hear about it. You hear about, child labor, and you hear, people like just not being paid enough. But when you see it, like that documentary, when I saw it, and oh my gosh, it just woke something up in me. I realized that everything that you buy has a story. Everything that you let into your home just has a story. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. I don't even have a mirror. Like, why am I doing this like this?
But I realized that, everything has a story. Everything that you purchase has a story. Everything that's made has a story.
And I'm sorry if I'm boring some of you, You know what I mean? But everything that has a story to me, I realized that I really want to know, like, what those, like, I don't know where things come from. I don't know how they make, I don't know how they make this beauty blender. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just, and seeing that documentary, I realized that sometimes, we get caught in how fast you can purchase something, or how fast you can spend $1, or how fast, just everything so stinking fast. And I decided for myself at that time, I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't want to be, you know, and it took a while, and I slowly just started going through everything in my house. And oh my gosh, I look awake already. I slowly started going through everything in my house, and I started getting rid of stuff. I started donating, I started getting rid of stuff. And this was the hard part for me. I'm gonna go ahead and start my eyes. And this was the hard part for me, was actually purchasing things. To stop buying things. And usually I didn't, you know, I did buy things here and there. The problem was that I would buy some things and then I would just put it away. And I'm actually going with the soft glam, and I am going with the burnt orange.
So I stopped purchasing things, and I started, I continued going through things around my home.
And I'm putting this all over my lid, but things around my home, and little by little, like, we just stopped buying things. We just, so when I got into sewing, a few years ago, I thought at that time that I needed to buy all this fabric. And if you guys haven't seen my first and so far only time that I have actually purchased fabric online, I will leave it in the description box or put it in a card. But I used to think that that's in order for me to really get serious about sewing, that I needed to buy all this fabric, when in reality I just needed to practice what the shiznits I was doing. You know what I mean? I just needed to practice and practice and practice. But so when time went on, I had to work 2 jobs at one point, you know what I mean? And then I stopped. And then when I did the video of me cleaning my sewing room,
that's when I had stopped working the 2 jobs. Oh, that's when I stopped working completely because I needed to attend to my family.
Now I'm actually going to go in with Dusty Rose. So I'm going to go in with Dusty Rose from this palette. And I stopped working completely, and I just continued what I was doing, with getting rid of some things, and just kind of continuing. And I always saw it as a cleanse, as a cleanse, because I'll talk about it as time goes on, of why we had so much stuff. A lot of the stuff that we had were actually donations, but that's a long story. That's a story for another time. But when I stopped working, I decided to continue getting rid of stuff. And we had a yard sale not too long ago, and we only sold like 2 things, and I'm going to go ahead and take it to the donation center. And so as we continue on this path of like getting rid of stuff, really watching what we purchase, I started going to Savers.
When I started going to Savers, I actually why did I go to Savers? I think I was bored, or I didn't know what to do, and I was like, maybe I just need to get out of the house, you know what I mean? So I got out of the house, I went to Savers.
And I realized that they had fabric there. And because now I'm going to go with a little bit darker one that's called Sienna. Fabric that was fairly cheap, you know what I mean? That people that have donated, because we all make mistakes of purchasing fabric. And I say all, including myself, because we purchase fabric that we think we're going to sew, but end up not sewing it. So again, I'm going to go with Sienna. And this is like a really dense brush. All the fabric there, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can practice, you know, what it is that I'm doing, and I can, for fairly, you know, cheaper than what it would cost me to buy fabric at Joann's or whatever. And I started doing it. And then, as you know, it's been now a few months that have passed, and my skill level to where it was before to where it is now is awesome. A lot better than what it was. And I think I'm only going to go in with mulberry here, and then I'm going to finish. So yeah, my skill just went with sewing, just improved. So I'm very, very happy that, and it all started because I watched that documentary from Netflix, and I realized all the stuff we had, all the, excuse me, all the stuff that gets donated, all the stuff that I received as donations, all the stuff from, like, you know, and it just rots and rots and rots. And so that's why I don't, you know, that's why I don't, and that's another reason why I don't indulge myself in a lot of fabric, because one, I'm not at that skill level yet, and two,
it actually, just because I watched that documentary, it just taught me to slow down and really look at the styles and what I want to wear and what I want to sew, you know, because at first when I got into sewing, I thought, you know, I needed all the patterns or I needed all the fabrics and I needed all this stuff, when in reality I just needed some fabric to practice on that I somewhat liked. And yeah, I did that and it was good. And now I feel like my sewing continues to improve. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I know I look like a hot mess right now, but I promise that all my makeup will come together.
Do my foundation. And it's the Kat Von D one. I like the Kat Von D because it's very mattifying, and I am a very I have very, very oily skin.
I go to Savers all the time now, you know what I mean? And I always find some awesome, awesome deals. Like, I found, I went there yesterday, and I found some really cute Converse, size 3.5. And I feel like I look like a witch, but I promise it's gonna come together. And I wore Chuck Taylors all through high school, all through, you know, the rest of my middle school life. That's all I ever wanted to wear was Chucks. I promise in person that it actually looks a lot nicer.
Ah, camera, why don't you love me?
I'm like rethinking this whole video.
But yeah, so yeah, and now that I go to Savers all the time and find all this stuff, you know, I really am pushing towards sewing things that I'm actually going to wear.
You know, not just sewing things that, you know, are super quick to make, you know, and then make it and wear it for that time being and then not wear it at all. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that'll change as I continue to learn to sew, but as of right now, that's where I'm at, basically.
I think I'm going to do mulberry and umber. Oh, gotta put it here now.
But yeah, so that's why I'm deciding to sew, and that's why I like to sew. Yeah. How did you ladies get into sewing? What made you guys love it and continue to pursue it?
But I'm gonna finish the powder on my face with
The Fit Me Maybelline 320. I'm also going to go ahead and put my mascara on. But I'm very happy that I am taking the time to actually remake and redo a lot of the sewing patterns that I chose to make, because it's teaching me to really understand sewing at a different level, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could take a class. I will take a class in sewing later this year, you know, like in October or November, because I do want to learn how to make a jacket. And making a jacket, it looks, you know, really intimidating. So I want to make sure that I make it and I understand how to make it. So yeah. So not only is sewing is basically teaching me, you know, not to be as wasteful as I once was. And it's also teaching me to just appreciate my clothing.
Real quick, this is how I do my eyebrows, okay? Don't come for me, people. But this is kind of just, I just brush them lightly with my mascara brush. I brush this, and
That is how I do my eyebrows. That's it. That is my secret. I know some people draw and conceal and do all these things. I am not one of those people. So what I am a mascara person. So I'm going to let my mascara dry and leave it alone.
and I am going to put a little bit of the powder foundation here on this flat brush, this large flat brush, and press it under here. See? And just kind of press.
And I'm going to take my big foundation brush. So yeah, so this is actually one of, I want to say I've only worn my outfits out just a handful of times. I honestly have not worn them out too much. I've basically been wearing like the same outfits repeatedly in my closet that I haven't made because I haven't shopped for like actual clothing. You know what I mean? So
I put on probably like 6 coats of mascara. I know it's a lot.
and this is actually Mexican mascara. I call this it's avocado seed oil mascara. I get it at Ranch Market, okay? I don't know.
But I think the biggest thing that I like about sewing is how many women sew and just how nice everyone is, you know? You'll get you know, I think that's the best part about sewing is that you sew, you fail, and yet they're still rooting for you to just keep going. You know what I mean?
Keep going, try again. And that really is what sewing is just you just gotta keep going, you just gotta keep trying it, you gotta keep remaking it, you gotta continue to read up on books on sewing. So now while this dries, I'm going to go ahead and put this kind of blush thing that it's Mary Kay as well, and it's like shaped as a heart. I use this kind of angled brush. I like it because it's kind of like a highlighter, but kind of like a blush at the same time. Okay, but I am just amazed at how many women are just so unbelievably nice here, you know, on YouTube, on Instagram, and how excited everyone is to share their make, and how other people just are happy, you know, happy for you or like what you make. And you know, I don't know, I think that's really awesome and I really like that. And
It's just awesome. Can we? Am I the only one that gets like low key like satisfied? Yeah.
and I am going, since my makeup dried, my mascara, I'm actually going to go in again. Yes, I put a lot of mascara on. I know. I've done it since high school.
And now, green eyeliner.
So there we go. I have my green eyeliner. I know it looks really dark, but in person it actually looks like, see that? Maybe I should have put you guys up here. Kind of what they look like. I'm actually going to put the green eyeliner up here as well.
I hope I don't make anyone feel bad for doing all the fabric hauls, because believe you me, if I had your skills, I would definitely do like a huge fabric haul. But I unfortunately don't have your skills, so I'm gonna stick to my savers. And yeah.
This is just what I do. Not because, you know, I am, obviously because I care about the environment. Also because financially, sewing can be pricey. I'm actually going to put more mascara on. I know, guys. I know I put a lot of mascara on. You know, I was that girl that would put a needle in between, in high school, in between her eyelashes to separate them. I was that girl. I am actually going in with the Estee Lauder Estee Edit by Estee Lauder.
I'm going in with this pink right here. This is my trusty one, okay? This thing has been through a couple years with me, and I actually really love this palette. I love these colors.
If you do that, if you get your fabric hauls, more power to you, because more than likely I am watching you, and I really enjoy watching, you know, other seamstresses, other women that sew, people that sew. I like watching their taste. I like watching what they make. I like seeing how they figure out things to shape their figures, how they like it. I am a huge fan of that. So I didn't say those things, you know, to bring shade to anyone. It's just because more than likely I'm watching you. It's just something that I decided to do with my life, and you know what I mean? But that was that.
I'm actually going to work on my lips, but before I work on my lips, I'm actually going to put a little bit more mascara. I know, guys. I know, but they're almost getting to how I want them to.
And I am actually going to work on my lips now. So
and here I go. I do align my lips.
I'm using this Color Stay by Revlon.
I don't even know what color this is. Raisin. But I have been wanting to do a fabric haul because I'm actually going on a trip in about 2 months or a month and a half, and I want to try and take things that only I've made, or me made items. But I don't know what I want. I don't know. I hope, you know. And then too with my kids, like I want to learn how to make them stuff. I want to learn how to, you know, make things so that my daughter is proud to wear them. I don't know. Okay, so that is it. I am actually going to go ahead and go straighten my hair, and then I will show you, I will put on my jumpsuits and my chucks, and I will be back for the end.